We're here for the OLR Pokemon Draft League tournament hosted by OG Albina and 𝗠𝗢𝗞𝗢 for one last ride to see out the generation. The way the tournament works is that 32 coaches get split into 4 pools to draft, with each coach drafting 8 Pokemon. We then get put into random groups of 4 to play the other 3 coaches in a round robin format. To progress through groups, you have to end up with a 2-1 record, and that puts us in a single elimination bracket to fight for a cash prize and the crown of OLR champion. The team we drafted was Iron Valiant, Garchomp, Terra Iron Moth, Metagross, Terra Mandibuzz, Basculegion Female, Lilligant, and Morpeko. The hope is to make it out of groups, and I'm really hoping this team can do it despite the fact that it's got quite a few holes, and if we do manage to make it out of groups, then anything beyond that it'd be a huge bonus. Of course, the aim is to win it all, but there's a lot of very good coaches. Now with that out of the way, let's get into today's game. Okay, so here we are for game 1, maybe? Question mark? It's a game of OLR. I don't actually know what order this goes up or when it goes up, but something's going up, I can tell you that much. Yeah, so we face 𝗠𝗢𝗥𝗣𝗘, and it's a tough matchup in the sense that we have the exact same team. However, it looks like Hazards go fucking crazy against their team. They did not bring any removal outside of copying my morpeko, which is it's a bold strategy, but morpeko actually is pretty good against my own team, especially if I do Terra Water. So the only upside is, the fun fact, apparently this happens, according to Showdown it does, is that if it transforms into Morpeko, it stays in either the hangry or the not so hangry state, so the Aura will not change type. That could be a bug on Showdown, and if it is, then fuck me, I guess. But if it's not, then that's good information to have if I can get it to transform into like either the electric type to be able to switch into Aura Will with Garchomp, or the dark type to be able to switch into pretty much everything else on my team. Good to know which one's which. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Basculegion. I think it's arguably the best lead because it can take a hit from absolutely everything. The only downside is if they lead off with Garchomp and just start setting up hazards, because we would have to take a pretty reasonable amount of hazards beforehand. It's actually going to be Ditto on the lead. I mean, it's not the most ideal, but I can just Shadow Ball because I don't believe that you can take this hit as well as I can take it. So I have 120 HP, you have 48. There's a little bit of a difference, and I could be wrong. So Basculegion, if I just get my own set and change its HP to base 48, Shadow Ball will not 2-hit KO us, 2-hit KO us even, it will 2-hit KO them. So I will just go for a Shadow Ball. They can Shadow Ball me, does around 50%. They get a Hydro, that isn't going to do 50, I can tell you that much for free. This should do around 80. I lied. You are Sash? You are Sash. Okay. I'm just going to Jet. I know they know my set and that Jet is incredibly obvious, but I don't want to take any unnecessary damage. So fairly simply I won't, unless you go into Garchomp and I take Rough Skin and potentially Rocky Helmet Jamming. You know what, I could have gone for something else, but it is what it is. The Ditto, we have found out what set it is. It dies next time it comes in if I set up any of my hazards, which as soon as Zapdos comes in I should be able to do with my Garchomp. They could try and Jet here just to get that bit of damage off, but they may also just not know, they may not know my set. Yeah, they may think I'm choiced. So that seemed like the safest play. Now, Greninja comes in. We get to scout for whether or not it specs. Shadow Ball will do a fairly decent amount of damage, and like the information at this point is probably way more useful. I can still keep this Mon alive to Aqua Jet the Iron Moth because it'll do around 50, so it's definitely worth keeping around. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they want to respond to this, because they know my set. They know exactly that they know I can't touch Greninja for neutral damage at the very least. But the upside is that Greninja is actually quite frail, for those who aren't aware. It's actually going to be Chomp. Okay. There's a chance that you're just, like, banded. Banded EQ. Would knock me out, I think. 332. It would knock me out. Mid-ground is to go Mandy. What do I need Mandy for in this matchup? Honestly, just really Garchomp and to a lesser extent Metagross. We can start getting some Toxics off, which would be super helpful. We also get some information. They are just going to SD. So, +2 Stone Edge. +2 Stone Edge doesn't knock me out unless you're Life Orb. Foul Play in return would do a whole hecking chunk. It would put it in range of Aqua Jet. I'm happy to take the trade, honestly. They are going to withdraw. I assume this will be Zapdos. Regardless, like the early pressure, I kind of had to do something along those lines. A Para would not be the most ideal, but it'd be what it'd do. And I will just go into Garchomp, but I need to start getting my hazards up. It's not a hazards chomp, so that's good information to have as well. And into my team, Hurricane looks pretty free. Like, my switch in is morpeko, right? So yeah, they will just Hurricane. This seems about right. This is how mocks have gone, so... do I want to get rocks or spikes? I think rocks are just generally more useful. And if you're faster than me, then again, that's information that we'll have. Foul Play did a little bit of damage, which is more than it normally would do. Normally it would do not a lot of damage. So they're going to stay in. We are faster. Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, well, you know what? Could have been worse. I would question whether or not I need to risk this, but I think for like at least a turn, it is probably worth me trying to get this off. So I'll go for it again. Because we don't hit ourselves twice in confusion, right? That just doesn't happen. I would just like some rocks. That's all I ask. They're going to hit this Hurricane, I think that kills me. Nope, we're living. Big day. Realistically, again, like it's good for Metagross as well, but so is Mandibuzz. I feel like at this point rocks are just not that useful. Maybe I'm better off just getting Stone Edge off, taking my damage. I think that's what I'm going to do. Snapped out of confusion, just in time to miss the Stone Edge. No, we do land those. Okay, can you miss a Hurricane in exchange? Excellent, thank you. The hacks, it's doing a thing right now. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing a thing. I mean, I would quite like hazards. Hazards are quite helpful. Fuck it, I'll click rocks. I don't think you just give me this. I mean, you certainly could. You could bank on a Stone Edge miss, right? Because your switch in is this. This is like the one thing. But this would give me more Pico afterwards, which is a sentence of all time. But it certainly actually would. I don't know into defensive Zapdos, it actually does kill. Oral was looking like it's guaranteed. And I am the same speed on my Morpeko as I am on my Garchomp. So we've overcome a little bit of some interesting hacks. But it's also worked out in our favour, so I can't complain too much. It's just been a bit of a clusterfuck of a few turns. They are going to just go for it again. Now, I'm pretty sure that's just fine. Because your answers to Morpeko aren't actually that great. I'm going to click Ice Fang because I think you should preserve this and go Garchomp. I guess the downside is that if you live, then it's looking a bit risky. Certainly getting damage off on Garchomp would be super, super helpful. I mean, there's no guarantee that you are actually Roost. I mean, it's a bit of cope. I have a Garchomp. It's a bit of cope, but you never know. But I think I just need, realistically, like, maybe Chomp weakened. Oh, they do stay in. Freeze. Tough. Okay, they U-turn. So Zapdos is, like, as good as dead next time it comes in. If Chomp comes in, I'm just going to go into Mandibuzz. Unfortunately, we are paralyzed, so there's a chance that we could lose off of a para. I guess if Chomp comes in, actually it might be better for me to just go hard out into Val. Logic comes in. And it's going to take rocks. Are you booster? Would appear to not be booster. That's fine. I will just go into my Vascular Legion. It is my designated switch into this now. Greninja is looking a little bit scary, but it always did. Like, if it's Specs, Terra, Water, my switch-ins were very limited to begin with. But not booster, not boots. So potential for specs, potential Scarf. I do want to keep morpeko around because I can do the thing to Zapdos. I can spin on it and then... Okay, well, that's also kind of fine, I think. Maybe Scarf then? Scarf would somewhat make sense. Like, you've got to assume at this point that Zapdos is in fact Boots, because they U-turned. There's no reason to do anything else, I think. But their switchings to Basculegion aren't amazing. If Zapdos comes in, then I can just jet it. If Chomp comes in, I think this time I know it's SD, so I think this time I get some damage off on it. Hopskin, that was the Garchomp, yeah. I've shown what my switch-in is going to be. So I'm just going to throw off a Pump. If you SD, then I just go hard Vow. They're just going to be cute, okay. I will somewhat take that trade. I'm surprised they went for the EQ there, but at the same time, they wanted that one weakened. But again, as long as I've got my Basculegion alive, I can still jet, and after the next lot of rocks, the Moth will be in range of it. So I don't have to worry about Moth sweeping me as long as I got Basculegion. Currently have no reason to sack this Mon, so if they SD, potentially could be problematic, but they're just Scale Shot. So, I think this might be loaded dice, guys. Could be wrong. So, if I lose Mandibuzz, then both Greninja and Metagross do become a little bit more of an issue. But I think I still take that. I think I go for the foul play. Because they may also be happy to try and trade damage here. And if that's the case, then I'm going to have to try and play like even more offensively. We could see Gren. Gren would be kind of crazy, but this is not going to appreciate it too much. Yeah, that's actually pretty respectable damage. Now, I assume that you're Scarf from the way that you are currently playing it. I actually don't need to keep Basculegion. Does Vacuum Wave kill from here, do I think? I don't think I care too much. I just go into you and Terra. Depending on what they click here, I can always just Terra. So yeah, I'm going to go out to Basculegion. If they Fiery Dance, we should live. If they Discharge, gotta assume, yeah, they Fiery Dance. We do be living those. And I'm just going to click Jet. Yes, they can go out into Garchomp, but this is dead next time it comes in. And I think Chomp potentially dies to Aqua Jet. I just don't think it's ever worth them like going for anything else really. Now the question do be, how do I plan on revenging a Greninja? I think the answer is Iron Moth, and really just kind of only for Iron Moth. Because with the Terra Water we should be able to take anything from that Greninja, even if it is Specs, and Discharge after rocks is always a KO. Unless they're Wakanberry for my morpeko. I think regardless of what I do, I always click Aqua Jet here just to guarantee that I put it in range. It's actually going to be Chomp. Okay, they're really trying to preserve the Greninja. I think they just want something to be gone before Gren comes in. This mon's done its job. Straight up, this mon has done its job. Like, there's not a lot more it can do from here. So I'll let it go down to the Rough Skin. Just confirm that we put it in range of Vacuum Wave as well. And if they try and do that, then they can't. So, I think it's got to be Vow here. Vow and Shadow Ball looks pretty great. So that's what I'm going to do. This hasn't got the speed. We can scout for AV on Metagross. And if it's AV, then maybe a sack on... What else have they got? I've completely forgotten about a Pokemon here, haven't I? Zapdos is alive on 1 HP. It's a sack. What is Zapdos being kept alive for? Morpeko? So, okay, so Chomp's going to go down. If Metagross's weakness policy, Vigility, then that is a real problem. It's a real problem. So if Metagross comes in here, which it should, I think the better play is just to go out into Mandibuzz. Yeah, because we can scout the set. And Foul Play should put this in range. It depends on like his investment, but Foul Play will put it in range of Vacuum Wave most likely. So it's going to be Ice Punch. Okay. That looks banded. Hang on, let me count. That's correct. Okay, never mind. No, ignore me. It's not banded. I'm only having you on. I'm obviously not quicker because I'm paralyzed. I would probably have been quicker, but it would have been a good way of being able to tell what was going on. What can I do after this? I can go Moth. If I lose health on Mothlo, I immediately could lose to Greninja. So I think it might be a morpeko angle after this and just go from there. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's just have a quick look at morpeko to a Metagross. We're looking at about 70-ish% with Aura Wheel. Obviously I need to change types first. So, gonna go for a Protect. I think I'm in a position where if I can weaken this, then I might well be able to just win with Moth. It's still gonna be a little bit tough. Like, if you click Agility here, then that'll be a problem. It may have just been banded. I can actually calc for that. Ice Punch, 31 to 36. It's so hard to tell. Unless you use Scarfed. This would reveal Scarfed as well. That's just incredible damage. Morpeko might be the GOAT. Morpeko might be the fucking GOAT. I mean, don't be Bullet Punch. Be choiced, and I don't know why they're clicking Ice Punch. Like, Heavy Slam would do infinitely more, I'm pretty sure. Unless they aren't a Heavy Slam, or they just like Bullet Punch and Ice Punch. I really do not know what this set is. But I do know that Morpeko be living lows. Ah, you fucker. Live? Ah, tough. But I think this is still okay. I still think this is fine. Because I can go into Moth. Like, we know it's not Custab because of the things that have happened and the stuff. And we can just go for a Fiery Dance here. Should I have checked that I'm faster? I'm faster. Morpeko was faster. Surely my Iron Moth is faster, right? That's just... So it's definitely picking up the kill there. We get the special attack raise as well, so we guarantee kill Greninja. Both Mons left now. Like, as long as I land a hit, we'll die to Vacuum Wave. So it's been a rough game. It's been an interesting game. Morpeko did do the things, which I'm very happy about. After Rock's Discharge, there's no reason for it to not kill. So I'm just going to click it. It's Terra Water. We know it's Terra Water. Unless you're also Protean with this, then yeah, Discharge should just pick up the kill. Considering a +1, I don't know if there's any types outside of you clicking Spikes that would make you able to live this hit. I don't know why I thought potentially Sash. We've broken a Sash. I don't know if I vocalized that there's potential for a Sash, but there's not a potential for a Sash anymore. Man, I'm so sad. If only he wasn't Bullet Punch for no reason against an Iron Valiant, there was a world in which it was Morpin time. Okay, so they're not terroring. Do they feel like maybe it's a U-turn here? U-turn is Dark Pulse? Yeah. That's not going to be enough though. Like, we are pretty much, like, we are pretty Spadef. We've got a bit of Spadef. No reason to not discharge that. I mean, I could have, if I was Agility still, could have Agility there, but I think the situation remains the same. Like, it's going to come down to probably a Dark Pulse flinch, let's be completely honest here. We know your Battle Bond because you didn't change your type. Like, Dark Pulse would, if it's Life Orb 2, it KO me here. It's not Life Orb because we've seen that. It is Specs though. Let's fucking go off. Okay, so we're gonna start Crit Mad. That was definitely definitely mattered. Only did 140 min. Good game to K-Sorn. That was a tough one. I feel like we overcame an entire like story arc. There's a whole bunch of adversity we had to overcome for this win. but we made it through, and Iron Moth and Morpeko might be the 2 best Pokemon in draft. I'm gonna say it now. Iron Valiant did nothing. Morpeko did something. Like and subscribe, enjoy the battle. Check out 𝗠𝗢𝗥𝗣𝗞𝗢, and until next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.